the Dodgers are having problems with the outfield again. He's creating headlines with not hustling to second base and then showing up late for early batting practice.
Mm-hmm. I'm a Puig fan, especially with the way that he's playing this year. Mm-hmm. To me, again, I'm going to be the grouchy guy who says, Roberts, you're the adult in this scenario. Dave Roberts, you're the adult. Handle it privately. Don't throw the kid under the bus. Mm-hmm. You need him psychologically to be on track with everybody, because defensively he is head and shoulders above everybody and anybody you can be out there. And you're going to have to play him in every single playoff game, regardless, because of that defense. You just are. And you need to keep, look, he's not an all-star type person who you have to, bend over backwards for, but just handle it internally. If he says, look, I don't even know what his story was about the whole stealing second in a close game, getting thrown out at second and not sliding. Right. He claims his ankle was hurt and then, he missed a game and he's back in the lineup tonight. But again, it's one of those things where the Dave Roberts that I've seen throughout the year who just keeps pounding in, guys like Utley and Forsythe when they just weren't hitting the ball, and Grandal and Granderson when they just weren't hitting the ball, right. He would bend over backwards for those guys. Mm-hmm. And he just doesn't do that with Puig. So to me, it's, even if Puig is not the guy you want to do favors for, just be the adult, be the coach in this situation, right. And, talk to him privately, but publicly let everybody know that you need him. You need him right now. You need him in the playoffs. You need him going forward. Yeah. Whether that's the reality or not, or whether, I don't care if Dave Roberts is tired of him. They need him.
He threw a little fuel on the fire himself. Roberts did when Puig didn't slide, and he, like you say, he said it was the ankle or leg.
Puig complained that it was the
Puig.
ankle.
And then Roberts made sure he mentioned that he got no treatment for it after the game. Why would you do that?
And that's one thing, I harp on Socha a lot, but that's one thing I do like about Socha, and I get it. He's, been around forever, but he keeps everything internally.
That's right. That's
one thing that I do like about it is it's a closed clubhouse. You're never going to know. I mean, the only thing that, came out of a clubhouse was that Jose Guillen thing, 10, 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. But other than that, he keeps everything close. And I just felt like Dave Roberts kind of handled that thing totally inappropriately. Yeah. It was just, and then for, the sports radio, today, kind of come out saying, is Puig even going to make the playoff roster? It's like, really? You need him to make, you need him in right.
Yeah, that's just a nonsense take. It's just an absolute nonsense take. You can't take your absolute best defensive player and do something other than put him in the lineup every day. Mm-hmm. Right. And even if there are pitchers who complain that, I don't like the way he catches the ball with one hand, or I don't like the way he doesn't hit the cutoff man. It's like, you know what? You want him on that wall. Yeah. You need him on that wall.
Exactly.
So I know he drives Alex Wood crazy, but he drives a lot of people crazy. But it's always worth it when he's making those diving catches and to save games. And he saved a lot of games. He defensively, is well above, anybody else.
Yeah, he's
going to be a Gold Glove winner.
If he was hitting 0, you'd still need him in the lineup.
Yeah,
just for his defense. Mm-hmm. He'll save more runs than he'll drive in a lot of times. Mm-hmm. He's got to be out there.
He's definitely above anything Granderson could offer. For God's sake,
we still don't understand that deal, really.
No.
What do you think about the move into the playoffs? The Dodgers, it looks like they're going to get either Colorado or Arizona, although Milwaukee is only 1.5 behind Colorado right now. Do they have a preference? They would probably rather, I would think, play Colorado. They had more success against them.
Well, I think that's true, though. Playing in Colorado, nobody ever really likes to play in Colorado. But as far as the pitching staff, you don't want to see, Greinke, Ray, and Godley. You just don't.
Corbin,
That's a better.
That's a good staff.
That's a deeper, longer staff than the Dodgers have. But that's what they're going to see. And I mean, there's just no two ways about it. That's what they're going to see.
Ray,
regardless of whether it's the Rockies or the Brewers overtake them, it's just not going to happen. It's going to be Arizona.
Yeah, I think Arizona's going to beat whoever they play anyway. So Greinke will probably go in that first game, and then Ray will go in the first game against the Dodgers, and probably the fifth game. And I had some stats here. In 5 games against the Dodgers this year, he's 3-0.
Yeah, he's been terrific.
2.27 ERA, and he's got 53 strikeouts in 31 innings against the Dodgers. And he would go in 1-5 probably if that were to that matchup occurs.
No, it absolutely shakes out perfectly for Arizona.
And then Greinke would be game 3 probably in Arizona.
Yeah.
Which is scary too.
So that
Greinke can be had. Greinke can be had. He's sort of a mental midget, and
they tattooed him earlier this year.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the one thing though that is interesting about the Diamondbacks is almost all their starters, because they were, there's questions about their bullpen and how it's not as deep and, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of their starters will go 7 or 8 innings.
Yeah.
And, they're going to go deep into games. And I think that, kind of has the advantage over the Dodgers a little bit just because, they're not going to be coming out, in the 5th or the 6th. They're going to be riding them all the way till, late in the game.
And generally speaking, I think that's right. This is still a team, the Dodgers, that is 9 to 10 games better than Arizona.
Yeah.
They were, for a reason. Arizona has solved a lot of those problems. Obviously picking up Martinez and shoring some things up in there, and their staff has helped them. But it's not going to be a walkover regardless. I mean, there's going to be some amazing playoffs, in the National League.
Should be, yeah.
Cubs Nationals is going to be terrific.
Right.
The Nationals have got to be thinking, boy, we have, spent so much money in establishing this team. The planets seem to be aligning with their starters.
Yeah.
They need to win.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They need to win.
Yeah. One other stat: the Dodgers lost 6 out of 9 in Arizona. They were 3-6 in Arizona this year and split at home.
Yeah, but also the thing to remember is 3 of those games came in the middle of that. Their amazingly poor performance. So there are 3 games in there that. Again, that I said it was their top 3 pitchers. The Dodgers were reeling, and
they didn't throw those guys in that series, did they?
They did in that one series. That's what the series that they swept them in Arizona was Greinke, Ray, and Godley.
And the postseason's another season. I mean, so all these stats, once October hits, it's going to be, throw them out the window.
Yeah, just ask Kershaw.
Yeah, yeah.
The Dodgers are still having a little bit of competition with Cleveland for that best record, seasonal record for Game 7 in the World Series. Dodgers 157 and Cleveland 98-58, so they're only a game and a half back. And that's another interesting thing because that's something that we wouldn't be concerned about last year when the All-Star game determined the winner. And now maybe Dave Roberts has to think about winning these games instead of resting some of his starters.
Maybe. I don't think that's how Roberts thinks at all about whether or not they're going to play home games in the World Series. I think once you start thinking about that, you get lost. You lose the now, and they need to win the NLDS. Yeah. And then and then the next thing is the NLCS. They don't need to worry about home field advantage. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it's what you were experimenting with lineups, on it when you lost 16 out of 17 games. So that's if true. you know what, if you weren't worried about it then, don't worry about it now. Yeah. You get where you get what you get, and that's it. Roberts was. Key injuries to Ballinger and Seager during that 16 out of 17. So, maybe there wasn't a lot that he could do, but the fact that he, when Bellinger did come back in, he had him at first and then in center, and he had him all over. It was just, it just seemed like, wow, that's a second-year manager. Dave Roberts still needs to learn how to manage. And then when he keeps throwing like Pedro Baez, I just keep wondering. It's like in Granderson. I mean, Granderson's a veteran, so I get you keep trotting him out there because you want him to get a swing back. But what if he doesn't get a swing back? And what if he gets mired deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into that slump? And now it's in his head. Well, that's the deal with Pedro Baez, right? And last night it was like, okay, Maeda, we're going to use you out of the bullpen. And this is the experiment. And they trot him out there, and he doesn't do very well out of the bullpen. Too many, this is not about trickeration or anything.
No.
This is about getting your best guys, throwing your best guys, getting it deep into the game, and then getting your setup guys to get the ball to Jansen.
Yep.
And I think too, managers, it's 2 seasons. Managers, for this regular season are coaching, egos and playing with the egos a little bit, and then once you get into the postseason, a manager's job is just to win games. I think that whole regular season you're figuring out what to do with egos and stuff like that, but once you get into the postseason, your job is to win games and see who the what the pieces are to fit.
I honestly have no idea what Roberts is going to do with his postseason roster. No idea. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to put Ethier on there. I don't know if Gonzalez is going to have a spot. I think we probably know that Granderson is there, which I think is just it's shameful because he's been awful. He's been awful, and it's terrible. But Ethier and Gonzalez, these guys, you're trying to be loyal to these guys, and Ethier's been better than Gonzalez, but Gonzalez is nowhere near. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's not. If there was no emotion put into it, Gonzalez doesn't make a playoff roster at all. Not in my book.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Not in my opinion.
That's probably true. That's probably true.
You get, Bellinger's a much better defensive player right now. Got better range, and he's better at first base. Yeah. And the last time you put him in the outfield, in right field in a position he'd never played, he hurt himself. And now he's in center and left, and I don't know.
It's almost like spring training.
Yeah, I mean, he's younger and hungrier.